Mental Strength 101. You build mental strength by sticking to hard tasks.
It's about setting aside comfort, setting aside weakness, setting aside fear, and having the discipline to endure.
Truthfully, a man, I believe, is being able to do the things that are hard or do things you don't want to do because you're supposed to do them. I think that's what a man's always been. A man is supposed to be strong. He needs to be strong, so he has to become strong. That's his job. A man is supposed to be brave. It's not that you can't feel fear, it's that you have to be brave.
It was a test that they initiated decades ago where they would sit a small child down and they followed them for their lifetime. I think about 30 years. The kid was about 4 years old at the time, in and around that, maybe young. Not a toddler, but not like an elementary school type of kid. And they'd follow them for 30 odd years of life, and they put a marshmallow down in front of the kid, and they said to the kid, you can have that right now, or you can wait 15 minutes, whatever it happened to be, or you can wait, and if you wait, we'll give you 2 marshmallows. Now, you can do this with a cookie with your kids, you can do it with a marshmallow, it doesn't matter what it happens to be, but it's a test of discipline. And the interesting thing about that test is they followed these kids over their lifetime. And the ones that were able to wait for the second marshmallow, that had the discipline, the ability to delayed gratification, I guess is probably a better way for it. So if they had the ability to delay gratification for that second marshmallow, they did far better in their life.
It's very easy to live nowadays as a man. You guys are very weak and you don't get it. I don't know what you do each day that makes you think you're strong. You don't work out. You eat whenever you want, whatever you want. You sleep in till any time that you feel like. You watch porn when you can't just go out and work hard enough to pull a chick. I mean, everything is so simple for you weak motherfuckers that you opt out of any type of difficult work. If you were down for difficult work, your life would change exponentially over this next 5 years. In 5 years, you could be the top of anything you want. If you just walked into difficult things and said, I'm going to excel at these. All the most difficult stuff, not the stuff you make up and say is difficult because you're good at it. The stuff that's actually difficult for you.
Endure the challenges and the hardship and the pain in order to become better. While war certainly taught me those things and ingrained those things into my mind if they weren't already there, I don't think you need to go to war to learn them. But I do think that you have to discipline yourself, and you have to get outside your comfort zone, and you have to push yourself beyond what you thought you could ever do to get that glimpse of the truth and to get that glimpse of the glory in the trenches.
Oh, an attacker's here. I'm afraid, but I'm a man, so I will go and engage the attacker. It is my job. And now we're teaching men, you don't have to do what you don't feel like doing. You can do what you do feel like doing. The thing that people struggle with most, especially men, is that we only learn lessons the hard way. That's the problem. You want to be good at learning lessons the easy way, which is really paying attention and making sure the feedback you're receiving, you need to be perceptive to it so that it doesn't have to be so hard hitting. You need to be the kind of person who goes out for a drive and his wheels slide a bit and he slows down. But what people typically do is they go out for a drive, their wheels slide a little bit, they continue, and then they crash. And then they realize I should have slowed down once they hit a tree. They only learn the hard way. But when they got the easy little bits of feedback, they didn't want to pay attention to them because it was easy and they thought they got away with it. And it's the same with a relationship and the same with everything else. There's little bits of feedback. You go, okay, this is going to be a problem later on if I continue. But they ignore that part. They wait for it all to blow up and go wrong. And then they learn. So men only learn the hard way.
The discipline. You can teach your kids discipline at an early age if you give them the marshmallow test and explain to them why waiting is a better choice, right? Discipline is a key skill you have to learn. You don't like cold water, take cold showers. It's one of the things I talked about in my book, okay? The second edition is out, by the way. Stand in cold, uncomfortably cold water, no heat whatsoever for as long as you can. Can you do it for 3 minutes? I did a cold plunge today. So one of the things that I do to reinforce these skills in myself. I have a membership at one of these, I don't know if you want to call it a spa or whatever, but it's one of these health centers. And they've got a isolation tank, so you can get in that thing for an hour. You're sitting on basically heavily dense salt water, and you just meditate in there. That's one thing to do. They also have these contrast rooms where it's hot and cold. And I'll go and I'll work up a massive sweat for 20 minutes, get out of the sauna, and then I'll go into the cold plunge.
Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. Discipline is the only true depiction of self-love. You don't fucking love yourself if you ain't disciplined. You don't give a fuck about yourself. And I mean, if you want to talk about higher frequencies, a higher level of life, you have to love yourself first. What the fuck's going to come from that? You can't... Anything that you wish to have externally has to be first cultivated internally. So your love for anything starts with being able to fucking understand that the difficulties of a high level of anything need to be actually enjoyed. You guys who can't enjoy discomfort, who can't enjoy difficulties, who don't enjoy overcoming, who don't write a story in their mind of them succeeding when all odds are against them, you'll never be fucking successful. Ever. It's not possible. You need discipline to become successful.
Motivation it's kind of a strange word because it doesn't really mean what we think it means. We think it means that we're fired up to do something. We think that it means we're eager and passionate to make something happen. And we think that somehow we should just be able to turn on that eagerness and turn on that passion. But we can't. Because you just can't turn on passion. You can't just turn on the desire to execute a task. It just doesn't work that way. And honestly, that isn't even what motivate means. Motivate doesn't mean to yell and scream and encourage. No. To motivate actually means to provide a motive, a reason why. So to motivate someone is to explain to them why they're doing what they're doing, how it will help them, where it'll take them, why they should continue to work and to struggle and to fight. And when you need motivation yourself, don't look for someone to scream and yell. Don't look for someone else to give you motivation. Look at yourself. Look at yourself and remind yourself why. Why you are doing what you are doing. Remind yourself that this struggle, this temporary pain, this fight that you're in, this is what will make you stronger and faster and smarter and better. And then, with that motivation, go forward.
And the reason they're sitting at home, even if they don't admit to these ailments, wondering why they're so unhappy all the time, is because you're fighting an internal battle. Your monologue is different in your mind from what your spirit truly wants. You want to be respected, you want to be strong, you want to stand up for what you know is right, you want to be a man, and you're just too afraid to engage the enemy, so you're going to self-destruct, you're going to turn on yourself. There's a fire inside of you. There's a fire inside of absolutely every man, and you can either direct it at your enemy and do your very best to destroy him, or it's going to burn inside of you and eat you alive. You have to make a choice. The cowardice that you feel that prevents you from engaging the enemy is the biggest betrayal, because now you're just engaging yourself. The battle's certain either way. So I strongly recommend you find who the enemy is and direct your efforts towards their destruction, as opposed to sitting there allowing yourself to self-immolate.
Your future is the result of your daily actions. You're defined by what you do today. Lazy now, loser later. Get to work. Now, what have you done today which is going to positively affect the outcome of your future? When have you sat and imagined your dream life? When have you self-analyzed and self-reflected and tried to work out where you've gone wrong to end up such a mediocre specimen of man? Why can't you go down to the dealer and buy a brand new Lamborghini right now? Why not? Is it a lack of money? Is it a lack of, what is it? Is it only money? Are you afraid if you buy one you'll get robbed? What is stopping you? Have you even thought about any of these things? Has it even crossed your mind? It's extremely important, gentlemen, that you understand the chessboard and understand exactly where you are so you can make changes. As a man, you need to have struggle in your life. And I want you guys to actually sit and think, what struggle are you going through daily? What struggle are you undertaking? What struggle are you trying to overcome? Because you should make a list of them. I can know for myself, every single day I wake up and I train physically. Every single day I have to go through X amount of physical pain when my day begins. That is a struggle that must be completed. Then I must try and keep my massive empire online, see my children, take care of everybody. There's struggle involved. My life is difficult. Difficult lives are fulfilling because we used to have to hunt and fish and go out there and go through difficulty to survive.
You should have a gym membership. You should be going on a regular basis, 3 days a week. If you're young, you can probably pull off 4 days a week and not even overtrain, right? You should have a membership at a dojo, a fight club, whatever the hell it is you want to call it. You should have something like this, right? I'm not saying go out and spend a vast fortune and get private one-on-one lessons. I will tell you that they are far more effective. Far more effective. I was taking private boxing classes for 3 years, right? I loved it, but it's a young man's sport. I did everything, I got as good as I possibly could get, but I had the discipline to go. Even when I didn't want to fucking go, I had my trainer, my coach text message, hey man, I can't make it at 12 o'clock tonight, can we move it to next week or skip it? Or I was like, no man, you got to do this, like what time works? 8 a.m, tell me. 6 a.m, I'll be there. You let me know. And I had fucking discipline. Every week, twice a week for 3 years straight, I was training. Sometimes 3 times a week because I would go in on the weekends when he would have a few of the other guys come in. We would do some sparring. So discipline. Manage your weight. I mean, do you have the discipline to live at a healthy weight? Again, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not a young man. But broad shoulders, narrow waist, I've got visible abs. I took the body fat calipers that I have and I grabbed some body fat a couple of days. I wanted to see where I was at. Reading 13 and a half body fat. I don't know if that's completely accurate. I squeeze it right, but it's low, right? Because I have the discipline to do all these things. Why can't you? You and I are no different.
Quit being a dumb fuck. Quit searching until you've dialed in your daily habits perfectly. Once you've dialed those in perfectly, it don't matter what's going on in your life. You'll be vibing high as fuck. And that high vibration state, that high frequency mindset will have you never miss on all the things that build you day by day, because you'll correlate your positive momentum, your positive progress to the habits. And in all reality, the reason you guys aren't succeeding is because you fail on the habits, because you're choosing comfort over the work that needs to be done. But what if you told yourself, the only way I'll be comfortable if the work is done? I mean, it's a complete different mindset. I was always a visionary. So I always knew the way I wanted my life. I always knew what I wanted to look like. I always knew who I wanted to be. Now I just had to do the work. A lot of you guys just aren't visionaries. So that's why I'm trying to tell you what to see. Because a lot of you guys were raised by fucking nerdy ass parents. And so you're fucked up. Like your examples of men and women are so fucked that you think it's okay to be at the lower end of a male or female in this life. When it's not okay, it's just a few different choices and different habits. I mean, that's the problem. But, it's rite of passage. If you're around fucking knacks growing up, your dad's a pussy, you're gonna be one. It's just what it is. So, I knew what I wanted to be like. I just had to do the work. Like, you should be able to wake up and know what you fear and face it, because you respect you enough to live a quality life. Why does anyone have to tell you to live? You should think about that. All you guys who aren't where you want to be, you should really think about why you don't respect yourself enough to live the best life that's ever been lived. You have one life, one chance at this, and you're really going to do nothing with it? Like, the clock's ticking, and you're going to fucking do nothing and be no one because you're scared of how others would view you, or scared of what the outcome could be, or scared to fail. I mean, I could never imagine being that fucking weak. You guys swear you're not afraid, and oh no, I'm not fearful of anything. You guys are all so pussy. Like, if you wanted something in this life, I don't give a fuck if it's that chick. I don't give a fuck if it's a Bugatti. I don't give a fuck what it is. You would fucking have it. If you really thought you deserved it and you really wanted it, you would fucking have it. But you guys ain't got nothing because you're afraid to pursue anything. And the people who are killing it and really did think that they're worth it, pursue something to get it, you're a real motherfucker. And I appreciate you. I salute you.
Into the fray, into the storm, into the heat of the battle, where victory is forged. Think about where you're at. And you're not at the top. I'm not at the top. None of us are at the top. Well, who can be? But what are we striving to be? What are we striving to be? Are we striving to be the most eminently qualified human being that we can be? Do you even know what that means? Do you even have those thoughts in your head? I'm guessing you don't. I barely do. I know I've had vague thoughts. I know I had definitions that floated around in my head of what I was trying to be, what I'm trying to be today. But why aren't those solid? Why aren't they? The reality is, I don't measure up the way I should be measuring up on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. Who's grading me? Who's lying to me? You know who is? Me. But until we clarify what the aim is, what the goal is, and what those standards are, how am I supposed to hold myself accountable to those standards when they don't even exist? So I'm going to make them exist. I'm going to put them on paper. We're going to come up with that eminently qualified human being, what that looks like. Because we all got ideas floating around up there. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to apply that. Are we doing everything that we could be doing, everything that we should be doing? Are we cutting corners? Are we slacking off? Are we giving ourselves a 5.0 when we should be at best cracking a 2 daily? How much are we leaving on the table every day? That's a question for you, right? How much are we leaving on the table? How much you said, you know what? I can just leave that there. It's fine. How many things just do you accept as collateral damage? Like something goes wrong, like one thing goes wrong, so there's just collateral damage. Other things are just going to fall by the way, and you're good with it. You're good with it. I hurt my knee. Oh, cool. Guess what? I'm going to eat a donut. Is that where we're at? Or is there collateral damage? Well, part of the reason I'm telling you that we allow this collateral damage is because we're not effectively grading ourselves. And even worse than that, we don't even know what standard we're trying to achieve. No one's even told us the minimum standard. Oh, okay. So why is your life going marginal right now? Why are you doing okay? Why am I doing okay right now? Well, it's because I have some vague idea. I kind of know I'm heading in the right general direction. That's not good enough to get maximum. It's not good enough to be eminently qualified. It doesn't work. You have to step it up. You have to have the unmitigated daily discipline in all things, and that's hard. It's hard for one day, never mind every single day.
And when I look at men who are physical specimens, I think everyone naturally does this, but I'm going to openly say it. I respect them differently than I look at men who aren't. I have a different level of respect for them because they show me they have discipline. They show me they have motivation. They show me they're capable of doing difficult and hard things. Those are the kind of people I trust. They're not afraid of struggle. They're problem solvers. People who train are problem solvers, and you need to become one, and you need to become very, very adept at solving problems pretty quickly. Do you not understand how intimidating that is? It's when they look at a group of people and they all look like superheroes and they can tell they're all disciplined, all hardworking, all dedicated, all physically strong. The struggle is what's beautiful about it. That's the most important thing. That's what you have to understand. First, you want to become as strong as physically possible. So you want to be as strong as physically possible. Next, you want to try and make as much money as possible. Not even necessarily for the money, although money is extremely important because it allows you to take care of yourself. We talked about this before, but there's a challenge involved, and solving that challenge is going to make you feel more satisfied as a human.
happiness comes from success, and making money is success. You should try and make people around you smile and be happy. You should try and encourage positivity around you. You should be the kind of person that no one can really complain about their struggles around, because they know that you're the person who's going to be like, why are you complaining when you could just simply fix it? You and your friends need to have friendly competition at all times. Now, you need to meet your friends, and you need to have banter and competition around things that matter. Who's got the most money? Who's worked hardest? Who's discovered XYZ, crypto, stock, new way of generating income? Who's trained that day? Who has the most children? Put some actual competitions together that matter and start competing and being around people, because you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody knows this. So why don't you get some genuine metrics that will improve your life? You won't have time to stand around cooking meals if you're friends with somebody who works out for 3 hours a day, for example, because you're going to need to find 3 hours a day to train to beat him, which means you're going to have to just eat that rotisserie chicken as you do squats, like a man should. Live with men you're in competition with. This is ultra important, because you can measure yourself against your circle. Get your act together, get some genuine metrics, things that matter, and once they're all put together, you're going to live in a naturally competitive environment, which is going to increase your testosterone level. It's going to prevent you from doing a lot of dumb shit. And the competition one's great, because you can apply it to everything.
Well, the only true outward depiction, the only way we can truly tell if someone loves themselves internally is if they take care of themselves. Self-investment is the only true depiction of self-love. Someone who loves themselves builds themselves. They do not destroy themselves. Someone who doesn't love themselves disrespects himself and breaks himself down. Someone who overeats and destroys their body, that is an outward depiction of someone who internally does not care for themselves, because then they're physically not caring for themselves. How is this hard to understand? I don't get it. The whole point of becoming that motherfucker first before you ever get the stuff is so that you don't end up with a bunch of stuff and realize you're still the problem. You guys, half you guys are like, I'm gonna be there one day. What, are you gonna have a fucking Bugatti and be a fucking lame? Like, you know how many people just swear they're gonna get to some financial level? You'll still be there when you get there. You'll still have to look yourself in the mirror. You'll still have to be fucking you, motherfucker. The problem is you guys are so fucking blind. You don't see when you got a goddamn double chin and you're like, I'm gonna get there one day, and you got a fucking double chin. Or you're some skinny little nerdy knack fuck. We know you don't want to be either of those. You don't want to be some weakling, skinny little man. You don't want to be some fat, helpless piece of shit. We know what you want to be. Fucking be it. You guys have to learn not to do this cop-out bullshit where you sit there and say, that's what it's all about. It's all about family. No, it ain't. Not if you're a whack-ass motherfucking dad. It's all about being exactly who you desired to be while having everything that you were after. If you had to trade one for the other, then you're a fucking bitch and you're a pussy, and you had to trade one for the other. You don't have to trade. A man who really has a plan doesn't trade shit. He goes after everything exactly how he wanted it.
Start looking at yourself. Yeah, as usual, your strengths and your weaknesses, and start trying to see where you can improve. Start moving towards the goal of becoming the eminently qualified human being. For us as individuals, we got to remember that we are in charge of our own lives. We are leading our own lives. And where are you leading yourself? What are you doing that you know you shouldn't be doing? Why are you doing that? You have to be uncomfortable. You have to impose the discipline on your own life so you don't have something else imposed, something bad imposed, so you don't have a catastrophe imposed on your own life. Because when we avoid the discomfort, and when we avoid the discipline, and when we avoid doing what we know is the right thing to do, that's when you end up in a personal catastrophe, in your own personal hell. You have to do the hard thing. the thing you know is right. And you know what is right, and you know what you are supposed to do. So do it. And avoid going down a path that leads to your own personal hell. And instead, get on the path that leads to freedom.
I think that getting rich when you're young as a man is probably one of the worst things that can happen. You don't want to get rich to your late 20s. You want to spend all your 20s broke. Broke, grinding, training. If I had money at 18, 19, I would have skipped so many experiences and so many hard lessons. I'd be a fraction of the man I am today. So I don't like the idea of kids just gambling and getting lucky. Yeah. Now, that's the worst thing that can happen to a young man. He's skipping all the struggle, all the pain and suffering he's going to attempt to skip with money. He's going to end up suffering more in the end, but he's going to just lose, lose, lose. I often see that when I speak to people who are too comfortable, they end up being unhappy. Yeah. You can't entertain yourself to happiness. You must earn happiness. You must climb a mountain. You must struggle yourself to happiness. That's extremely important. There must be physical, mental, social, creative, some kind of spiritual struggle. And those things being satisfied is what's going to satisfy you. It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a mathematical equation. You solve the equation, you get a Bitcoin. Life is very much the same. There's struggles, there's difficulties which you have undertaken, which you have adopted to try and complete. And when you finish those things, then you get satisfaction as a reward. That's the Bitcoin. The only other alternative to that, to feel good, is hedonism. And that's not going to satisfy you for very long. And it's also going to destroy your life. So it's extremely important. Masculine competition is fun. I think what's fun as a man is being the best at anything, right? So I live in a very masculine environment because masculine competition drives you forward. We all work together. We all work inside of the company and we're very successful. But yeah, I don't really know what's fun anymore. I just feel like nothing's really fun anymore besides working hard, or you need an activity which is so adrenaline filled that it distracts you, which is why I love driving fast cars and fighting, because it's the only time I'm not thinking about work.
Do you guys know how easy it would be for me to just tell you everything that I knew would control you? To just tell you everything that I knew would make you love me, and for me to say the perfect thing, and for me to motivate you and take your money. Do you know how easy that would be for me? Keep in mind that that's what all the people that you like are doing. And I'm sitting here not telling you what you want to hear. I'm not sitting here trying to fucking just control you. I'm literally just telling you the fucking truth that I want to tell you. And there's no amount of money that would make me fucking stop and turn the other way. Because guess what? That's what all the fakes do. And you dumb motherfuckers eat it up because you couldn't fucking bear to have someone tell you your nasty truth about how big of fucking fat lames you are, how weak you are. You want them to be like, it's okay, manifest it. I never overthink because I know exactly what to do. You guys overthink because you're not sure of your next move. I know exactly what to do. And that's why I look at all you guys, I'm like, is this guy stupid? Does he not realize that he wants to be in better shape, but he just ordered an egg croissant with sausage and cheese on it, and he's getting further behind from who he wants to be? He just doesn't even know what to do. Or worse, he goes in and orders a smoothie from one of these places and thinks he's getting in shape because he's got protein, banana, dates, peanut butter, and everything in it, and it's like 900 calories. And he's like, I'm really killing it. And he's like, I went and got my smoothie.
When you make decisions, every decision, think about where that decision leads and what that decision will make you become. And then self-determine, choose what will make you a better person. And even in situations where you feel you have no choice at all, you still have one last freedom, and that is to choose your own attitude in any given set of circumstances. Keep that choice. Keep that freedom, that hard choice, the disciplined choice. and with the discipline to make the right choice, maintain your freedom. I keep getting asked this type of question: how do I get discipline, or how do I want discipline, or how do I maintain discipline? If you hear me claim that discipline is easy for me, then straight up, that's just my ego talking. That's what that is, because I'm unfortunately just as human as everyone else, and it is work to maintain the discipline. That's what it is, work.
If you're injecting struggle, and that struggle, solving those problems lead to a positive place, once you become addicted to it, you're going to become a machine of monumental achievement. There are some very simple basic things you can do: weight training, chess, having debates, trying your very best to take care of your mother, retire her, make sure that your people who you love are taken care of. You need goals and resistance and something to fight against to live well, because the distance between pain and joy is what we experience. If you only have joy all of the time and no pain, you are not going to be happy.